Heartwarming revelation: Black woman sells family heirloom for milk, discovers jeweler is father. Maya Johnson stood in the corner jewelry shop, her heart racing like a trapped bird. The walls felt closer as she clutched the ornate heirloom necklace, her grandmother's legacy, in a velvet pouch. Selling it for milk, groceries, anything to provide for her imaginative 6-year-old daughter, Zuri, felt like an unbearable betrayal. Tears pricked her eyes as she imagined her grandmother's warm embrace, the twinkle in her eye as she spoke of family history. Maya took a deep breath and stepped forward, the bell above the door chiming in a bittersweet welcome. The glimmering display cases were a stark contrast to her sinking spirit. She met Elijah, a tall, rugged man with a warm smile and eyes that seemed to hold mysteries of their own. As he examined the necklace, she couldn't help but notice the delicate way his fingers danced over the metal, almost as if he recognized its story. "This is beautiful," he said, his voice deep and soothing. Instinctively, her chest tightened, but a flicker of hope ignited within her. They talked about craftsmanship and artistry, the conversation flowing like a gentle stream. Maya felt an unexpected connection, laughter spilling from her lips as they shared stories. Through the haze of tension, a sense of peace enveloped her. Still, something scratched at the edges of her heart, a strange familiarity to his essence. Glancing at the photographs adorning the walls, her breath hitched. Smiling faces, families with laughter captured in time. Could it be? Was he the father who had disappeared all those years ago? Her thoughts spiraled like autumn leaves. Memories flashed in front of her, the day he walked away, the body ache of loss, her mother's unyielding silence. She met Elijah's eyes again, warmth brimming, but also an unshakable weight. "Do you have kids?" Maya asked, her heart somersaulting. The answer would shift everything. Before Elijah could respond, a loud roar from outside shattered the moment. The abruptness of chaos pulled her back and intensified the urgency swirling inside her. I need to sell this," she said, voice trembling, knowing she was closing the door on generations. The fear of financial struggle mixed painfully with the fear of emotional turmoil. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Maya's words hung between them like a fragile thread, one that could snap at any moment. The air thick with unspoken truths seemed electric. She opened up, revealing her struggles, her dreams for Zuri, and the heartache of single motherhood. Both of them were laid bare in the layers of pain and hope. Just as Maya felt a flicker of understanding blooming, Elijah finally spoke. "I've been trying to find my way back," he said quietly. The weight of his unveiling hung heavy, slicing through her resolve. Her heart raced to the point of rupture, the connection pulsating with unacknowledged histories. This was no longer just a transaction, but a reckoning. The moment of revelation pressed in tightly on her chest as she fought against the swirling emotions. Would she open her life to the man who had abandoned her? Or would she protect her daughter from the shadows of the past? At that moment, she felt the pull of destiny. A crossroads appeared before her like a fork in a forest path. What would she choose, the ache of familial love or the fear of repeating history? As a decision hung in the air, the gentle chime of the doorbell announced a new visitor, shattering the fragile moment, leaving Maya gasping for clarity while memories of her grandmother flickered in her mind like the dying embers of a fire. The door swung open, a gust of wind carrying the scent of rain. Maya turned, barely registering the figure that stepped inside. A woman, tall and poised, with long, dark hair and a presence that commanded attention. Her eyes scanned the shop before locking onto Elijah's. "Maya, this is my sister, Julia," Elijah said, his voice steady but laced with an undercurrent of unease. Julia's sharp gaze flickered between the two of them. "I wasn't sure if you would be here," she said, her tone cool. "I wanted to talk to you, Elijah." Maya felt the tension ripple through the air. She took a hesitant step back, the weight of the heirloom necklace pressing against her palm, anchoring her to the moment. This unexpected arrival felt like a disruption, unearthing uncertainties she was just beginning to confront. As Julia stepped closer, she noticed Maya's expression, the concern etched on her face. "You're selling a family piece, I see," Julia said, slowing as she processed the delicate situation. The atmosphere turned even thicker, a web of emotions wrapping around Maya's heart. It's complicated," she murmured, searching Elijah's eyes for reassurance. But they were focused on his sister, a mixture of disbelief and regret swirling in those depths. "I just found out about this," Julia continued, her voice softening slightly. "You have no idea how much history this necklace holds, how it connects us all." Maya swallowed hard. "And you are?" "I'm his sister," Julia replied, and despite the truthfulness in her voice, the walls around Maya felt like they were closing in. "We have a lot to explain to each other." Elijah opened his mouth to speak, but nothing came out. He looked torn between wanting to protect Maya and the pull of reconnecting with his family. Maya shook her head softly, a wave of fear crashing over her. Her mind raced, unsure if she could handle more tearing open in this already raw moment. "I can't do this now," she stammered, glancing at both of them, her heart pounding audibly in the silence that followed. "Maya," Elijah finally said, stepping toward her, "we need to talk about who we are and what this signifies." "You mean so much to me, you mean so much." Julia interrupted, her eyes fierce. The tension escalated as her voice rose slightly, layering years of frustration. "What about those of us who watched him walk away? You think it's that easy to sweep back in?" Maya clenched her jaw, emotions swirling within her like a storm. What did she want? Should she trust him, this man she just discovered was her father? Or should she protect Zuri from the chaos that seemed imminent? "Maybe this wasn't such a great idea," Maya whispered as she stepped back, dread coursing through her veins. "But what you don't understand is," Elijah began, urgency in his voice. "Enough!" Julia interjected, her frustration spilling over. "Stop hiding from your decisions. You can't just pick up the pieces and expect it to be okay. There are people involved here, real hearts." Maya felt trapped between two worlds, each whispering promises and fears. She had come here to sell a simple necklace but ended up standing at the edge of an abyss. With her resolve faltering, she looked at Elijah's strained expression, then back at the fierce determination on Julia's face. "I need time," she finally managed, and turned towards the door. "I need to think." As she stepped outside into the humid air, the heaviness around her lifted slightly, but doubts crumbled her hope. She had made her choice to walk away from the confrontation, to retreat from the past. But the pull of their stories still clung to her, like a thread unspooling. The decision she had made was simple, but the implications were complicated. She had a daughter to think about, a life to protect. Just as she turned to go, a figure stepped into her path, blocking her way, and Maya froze. The world around her blurred, the air thick with unfulfilled emotions. What could this stranger possibly want? The moment of truth was just beginning. Would their past lead her toward healing, or would it unearth buried scars? Maya blinked, her heart racing as she looked up at the person in her path. It was a man, tall with an athletic build, though it was his eyes that held her attention. They were strikingly familiar, deep-set and filled with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine. "Excuse me," he said, his voice smooth but edged with urgency. "I saw you come out of that shop. Are you Maya?" She instinctively took a step back, her instincts pressing her to flee. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm Aaron, Julia's husband," he replied, holding up his hands in a placating gesture. "I know this is strange, but I need to talk to you." It's about Elijah. Maya's heart sank. The last thing she wanted was to delve deeper into the chaotic web of Elijah's family. She cast a quick look over her shoulder, half expecting to see Julia and Elijah walking out, ready to confront her again. He's still inside, Aaron continued, sensing her hesitation. But what I have to say wait. Please, just give me a moment. Maya took a breath, feeling the weight of the necklace still clutched in her palm. It felt as if it was pulling at the seams of her life, reminding her of everything she was trying to escape. I don't know if I can just hear me out, he pressed, stepping forward. I understand everything you're feeling. Trust me, I do. But there's something you need to know about your father and the choices he made. Her palms were sweaty, the quiet of the street amplifying the thud of her heart. She hadn't even known Elijah existed until recently, and now she was being confronted with fragments of a history she never asked for. Yet here she was, about to dive deeper into the mysteries of her own life. What about him? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. He's been carrying a burden, Aaron said, his tone both serious and compassionate. And it's not only about his missing years. It's about you and your daughter. The moment he saw you, something shifted within him. He recognized a part of himself that he thought was lost forever. Maya felt a sting in her chest at Aaron's words. The melancholy in Elijah's voice, the way he had looked at her. Could it be true? That she might mean something to him? I don't know if he's capable of dealing with that, she replied, her heart grappling with conflicting emotions. Maybe not, Aaron conceded. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not just about him. It's about the family you deserve to know, the lineage you're a part of. It stretches beyond what he did or didn't do. Maya's thoughts raced. Did she really want to know this family? The idea was both alluring and terrifying. If she stepped closer to them, would she just invite more pain into her life? Could Zuri handle the storms brewing ahead? Look, Aaron continued, lowering his voice. I know it feels overwhelming. But if you give him a chance, you might find more than just anger, you might find healing. You both deserve that. Maya searched his eyes, looking for a hint of deception but finding only earnestness. The air around her felt charged, as if the universe was holding its breath, waiting for her next move. I don't know, she finally replied. What if stepping forward only leads to more hurt? Or it could lead to understanding, something real, Aaron countered gently. I've seen what this kind of connection can do. You don't have to carry this alone. Maya's resolve wavered, the foundation of her world shaking at the possibility of connection. Could she chance it? Did she have the strength to face the truth, whatever it might bring? Just then, the door of the shop creaked open behind her, and both she and Aaron turned to see Elijah step out, his expression a mix of hope and trepidation. Maya, he called softly, his eyes locking onto hers. Can we talk? As tension electrified the air around them, Maya felt the weight of the moment engulf her. Would she step forward into family, or retreat into the safety of solitude? The answer, she realized, might change everything. Maya's breath caught as Elijah stepped closer, his eyes searching for something in her gaze. The world around them faded into a blur, leaving only the two of them in that moment. Aaron remained a silent figure to the side, the urgency of his words hanging in the air like an unspent arrow ready to fly. Maya, please. Elijah's voice trembled, and for a moment, his vulnerability cracked through the walls she had built. I know I've made mistakes, but seeing you it's opened something in me. Maya's heart raced. Every bit of her wanted to scream at him, to unleash the hurt she had buried deep within her for so long. But there was also a flicker of something else, curiosity, perhaps? Opened what? She asked, her voice steadying with defiance. What could you possibly know about me? Elijah took a step forward, closing the distance. His face was drawn, shadowed by regret. I thought I lost my chance to know you, to be your father. And now that you're here, he paused, swallowing hard, the words weighing down his tongue. Now that I see you, I don't want to miss this opportunity. Maya clenched her fists, knuckles white against the necklace's cool surface. You don't get to waltz in after all this time and act like you care. She retorted. Her heart screamed at her to unleash all the pain he had caused, the years of absence that felt like a betrayal. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I'm just asking for the chance to make it right, he replied, his voice shaking slightly. I've spent hours thinking of what I would say if I ever saw you again, and now that I do, all I can feel is this overwhelming need to connect. For a fleeting moment, Maya saw not just the man who had abandoned her but a haunted soul, longing for redemption. Memories of her mother's pain bubbled to the surface. How she had poured her soul into raising Maya alone, just trying to keep their heads above water. What do you even know about me? She spat, bitterness heavy in her tone. I'm not the little girl you left behind, Elijah. I'm a mother now. I have Zuri to think about. I know, he said gently. And I want to be part of that. I want to know my granddaughter. Can we at least talk about this? Just give me a chance to explain. Maya felt the tug-of-war in her heart intensify. Would opening this door lead to healing, or would it bring more ruin? She glanced at Aaron, who watched quietly, his presence a reminder of the complications swirling around her. What if I say yes? She finally asked, her voice softer, as if the words weighed less than she feared. What happens then? Then we explore this together, Elijah replied, his eyes alive with hope. There's so much we can learn from each other. Family isn't just blood, it's connection, and I want to reconnect. Maya shivered at the word family. It felt both warm and dangerous at once. Could she trust him? Could she let herself be vulnerable again? All right, she said, cautiously. We can talk, but only if it's about the truth and nothing else. No more lies, Elijah. Just honesty. Can you do that? He nodded, determination hardening his gaze. I promise, Maya. Only the truth. As they stood amidst the fading day, uncertain yet hopeful, Maya felt the stirrings of possibility. Could Elijah's willingness to bridge the gap truly change their future? Would Zuri embrace this newfound path, or would it all come crashing down? The weight of the moment sat heavily between them, and with it, the chance to rebuild something that had been lost. But as they began to walk toward a nearby cafe, a whisper of doubt echoed in Maya's mind. What would she find waiting on the other side of this conversation? Maya felt the warm light of the setting sun on her skin as she and Elijah made their way toward the cafe. The vibrant colors of the sunset painted the sky, but inside her, something felt gray. She glanced at Elijah, studying his expression. The mix of hope and determination seemed almost foreign to her. In her heart, a battle raged between wanting to reach out for the man who had returned and the instinct to protect herself and Zuri from any further harm. As they stepped into the cafe, the smell of freshly brewed coffee wrapped around them like a blanket. Her mind raced over thoughts of Zuri, who was likely bouncing around at home, unaware of the whirlwind her mother found herself in. Would Zuri's laughter fill the void that Elijah's absence had created? Or would there be a new sadness woven into their lives because of him? Elijah gestured toward a small table in the corner, close enough to the window to let in the fading light. As they sat down, he clasped his hands together, his sincerity evident. Thank you for meeting with me, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I don't take this lightly. Maya stared at the table, tracing her fingers over the wood grain. I still don't know what you want from me, she replied, attempting to keep her voice even. You disappeared once. Why should I believe things will be different now? A shadow passed over Elijah's face, and for a moment, he looked younger, almost fragile. Because I can't make that choice for you. I want to be honest about everything, the good and the bad. I want to explain why I left and what I've been through since. Fine, she said, her chin jutting out defiantly. Let us hear it. Elijah took a deep breath as though steeling himself for a long plunge. I was young and scared. I thought leaving would be easier than facing my responsibilities. I didn't realize how much I was hurting you and your mom, until it was too late. He paused, his eyes locking onto hers. My life spiraled out of control. I battled my own demons and lost touch with everything that mattered. Maya fidgeted. That's just excuses. I know, he replied quickly. But I've been working on myself. Therapy, support groups. I've tried to become a better person. It's why I was drawn to the jewelry shop. It was a fresh start. Jewelry? She echoed, confusion battling with anger. What does that have to do with anything? I'm a jeweler now, Elijah admitted, the hint of embarrassment in his tone. I found a way to create again, to be artistic, something that I always loved. When I realized Zuri was part of my life, I wanted to make her something beautiful. And knowing you were here, I wanted to reach out. Maya paused, processing his words. A jeweler, was that the career he had abandoned? It sounded idyllic, far removed from the chaos of her upbringing. But what did that even mean for her? And if I let you back in? She asked, the uncertainty thickening from her words. Then you and Zuri can have a grandfather. I want to be a part of your lives, to make up for lost time, he said earnestly. With each word, Maya's guarded heart shifted just a little. Could there be a path forward? Could she see him as something other than a specter from her past? But right then, another wave of doubt washed over her. As if sensing her turmoil, Elijah leaned forward. Maya, I know I might never earn your trust, but I want to try. Can we start somewhere? One baby step at a time? She stared into his eyes, searching for any sign of insincerity. Instead, she found a glimmer of hope, mixed with regret. Perhaps this was the moment to let go of the fear that had strangled her for so long. But in that fragile space, would she remain strong enough to protect Zuri? Just then, a voice cut through her thoughts. Aaron, who had been watching quietly from the counter, casually strolled over. You know, sometimes it takes rebuilding from ashes to find what's truly valuable, he said, a knowing smile on his face. Maya's heart raced as the implications of his words began to echo in her mind. Could this be the spark for a greater shift in their lives? But as she looked back at Elijah, a new worry kneaded at her gut. What if the ashes were still too hot to touch? Maya chewed on her bottom lip, her thoughts colliding like scattered puzzle pieces. She glanced out of the cafe window, where the vibrant sunset melted into a darkening sky. The weight of Elijah's presence pressed heavily on her, challenging her to break the cycle. Could she allow him back into their lives? I need time, she finally said, her voice steady but soft. I can't just leap into this. Elijah nodded, his expression shifting to one of understanding. Time is all I ask. No pressure. I want to show you that I can be trusted again. Just, let me be part of Zuri's life. Something warmed inside her at his words, a whisper of hope. It was buried beneath layers of hurt, but the possibility turned like a delicate sprout pushing through rocky ground. You think being a grandparent is easy? She asked, half joking, half serious. It's a lot of responsibility. I'm ready for responsibility, he replied, a tinge of excitement sparking in his eyes. I've spent too long running away from my responsibilities. I understand that this is a chance to rebuild. Maya's heart clenched. Zuri's tiny hands and bright smile flooded her mind. If she let Elijah into their lives and he slipped away again, would she be able to handle the fallout? Aaron stood a little distance away, leaning against the counter, his presence a calm anchor in the storm brewing in her heart. The warmth of his earlier comment lingered, grounding her. He had witnessed their exchange, and she caught the approving glimmer in his eyes. Just then, the cafe door swung open, and a chill rushed in with a group of boisterous customers. Laughter erupted, the sound like distant waves crashing on a shore. For a fleeting moment, the tension in the air lightened. "Maybe I'll take you to meet Zuri," Maya said, her tone wavering between caution and curiosity. "But it can't just be about you wanting to be a grandfather. I need to see that you're truly committed." "Absolutely," Elijah agreed. "I'll do whatever it takes. I want to earn your trust again and Zuri's, too." She felt the warmth of an unexpected smile tugging at her lips. What if he actually was serious this time? Sitting here with Elijah felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, where beneath her were both the treacherous rocks of the past and the shimmering ocean of possibilities below. "Well, I need to think about this," she said, standing up. "And if I choose to give you that chance, you need to be patient with me." "Agreed," he replied, his eyes steady. As she moved toward the exit, she glanced back. "And Elijah?" "Yeah?" he asked, his breath caught with anticipation. "Keep that jewelry safe. If Zuri sees it, well, let's just say it'll be priceless to her." He chuckled, a soft melody that unraveled some tension within her. "I will. I promise." The sun had set entirely, and the cafe's lights flickered to life, illuminating their faces. Maya stepped outside, inhaling the cool evening air. Beneath the surface of chaos, she felt a new current of change swirling around her, almost palpable. In that tilted silence, she replayed their conversation, her heart thudding in anxious rhythm. Could she really allow this man into their lives again? Could she risk the love they'd built without him? Just then, her phone buzzed in her pocket, breaking her from her reverie. She pulled it out and saw a message from Zuri's babysitter. "Zuri has a surprise for you when you get home." Maya's heart fluttered with excitement mixed with apprehension. What was waiting for her? Could this surprise, whatever it was, be the very thing to either anchor or further complicate her life? As she walked away from the cafe, a questioning thought lingered. Would it lead to healing, or was she walking straight into a new storm? Maya walked briskly down the street, her pulse racing with each step. The promise of a surprise from Zuri gnawed at her, filling her with both dread and anticipation. What could it possibly be? Had Zuri found something buried in their shared memories that had been waiting for her to return home? Or was it something deeper, a call to her heart she hadn't yet prepared to answer? As she made her way through the familiar neighborhood, the sights and sounds swirled around her like both loving embraces and haunting reminders. The streetlights flickered on, casting gentle halos of light on the path, illuminating memories of Zuri running around, laughing and playing. Her thoughts drifted back to Elijah. Could he really be ready for this change? For how long had he been absent? She shook her head to cast away the shadows of doubt. One step at a time, she reminded herself. When she finally entered the house, Zuri's laughter greeted her, bouncing off the walls like music. Maya took a moment to savor it. She followed the sounds into the living room and found her daughter sitting cross-legged on the floor. A box decorated with colorful stickers lay before her, buzzing with excitement. "Mommy! Come quick!" Zuri beamed, her eyes sparkling with mischief and delight. "Look what I found." "What is it, sweetheart?" Maya asked, her heart swelling at the sight of her daughter's happiness. Zuri pulled the lid off the box to reveal a jumble of items: stuffed animals, old puzzles, and at the very bottom, something that caught Maya's breath. It was a delicate silver bracelet, shimmering in the subdued light like a forgotten promise. Maya knelt beside Zuri, her fingers brushing over the bracelet. Instantly, memories flooded back. It was her grandmother's heirloom, passed down from generation to generation. A symbol of love, resilience, and family. "Where did you find this?" Maya asked, her voice barely above a whisper, heart racing. "I was cleaning under my bed like the babysitter told me to, and there it was." "Isn't it beautiful?" Zuri exclaimed, holding the bracelet with a sense of pride only a child could muster. "It is," Maya replied, swallowing the lump in her throat. The weight of the surprise settled over her. "But Zuri, it's very special. It belonged to my grandma. And now it's mine. Zuri declared, her enthusiasm undeterred. The truth settled in Maya's heart, and a fresh wave of warmth enveloped her. This wasn't just about the bracelet, it was about connection, lineage, and rebuilding the bonds that had frayed so long ago. Can we wear it together? Zuri asked, eyes wide and hopeful. Maya smiled, an unguarded grin spreading across her face. Of course, my love. Let us put it on. As she clasped the bracelet around her daughter's wrist, a quiet joy filled the room, painting over the remnants of hesitation. Zuri jumped up, spinning around in a joyful dance, the heirloom glinting in the light like hope reshaping their future. In that moment, the doorbell rang. The sound echoed, pulling Maya from her bubble of warmth. She exchanged a glance with Zuri, who now stood still, a magnet of curiosity. Who could that be? Zuri asked, bouncing on the balls of her feet. Maya's heart raced again, but it was mixed with a different kind of excitement. She opened the door slowly, bracing herself for whatever lay beyond. Standing there was Elijah, holding a small, delicate pouch in his hands, his eyes reflecting a whirlwind of emotions. Maya, he said, breathless. I couldn't wait. I wanted to give you something. Maya's heartbeat quickened. Their eyes locked, and in that instant, everything felt monumental. Could this meeting change everything anew? Tension hung thick in the air. What did Elijah have for her, and what was he willing to unravel? With a mix of trepidation and hope, she asked quietly, "What is it?" Elijah inhaled deeply, his eyes darting between Maya and Zuri, who stood just behind her, clutching the bracelet, the embodiment of their shared history. I found something, he said, voice trembling with unease, that I think you need to see. He carefully opened the pouch, revealing a small, tarnished key. It glimmered faintly in the light, the metal worn but stubbornly persistent. What is that? Maya asked, a mix of confusion and curiosity dancing in her chest. It's an old key. I didn't know what it was for at first, he continued, holding it out hesitantly, but then I remembered something my mom told me a long time ago. Elijah stepped into the living room, the door creaking softly as it shut behind him. She spoke about a family safe. One that contained things passed down through generations. I thought it might be linked to yours. Maya's breath caught in her throat. A safe? You mean, my grandmother had a safe? Elijah nodded slowly. I've spent the last few weeks digging through old photos, and I found a picture of it. If this is really the key, it might unlock stories, and treasures, or even secrets hidden away. Zuri, her wide-eyed excitement palpable, chimed in, Mom, can we find the safe? It sounds like an adventure. Maya smiled at her daughter's spirit but felt uncertainty cloud her mind. Elijah, are you sure? What if it's not? It has to be, he replied, fervor creeping into his tone. I've always wanted to help you discover more about your family. I didn't know how to start, but this. He paused, searching her eyes. I want you to know me again, Maya. I want to be here for you and Zuri. I want to help rebuild what was lost. Maya's heart swelled with a mix of emotions, hopeful yet guarded. She remembered years spent leaning away from Elijah, from the bonds they once held tight. You want to help? You really think we can? Absolutely, he said, determination smoothing the lines of his brows. There are stories waiting to be uncovered. Zuri bounced again, anchoring them back into the moment. We should go now. Please. Maya's heart raced, feeling the pull of possibility. Could this lead her to not just items from her family's past, but a deeper understanding of who they were and, ultimately, of herself? Could she trust Elijah enough to let him back into her life? With a faint smile creeping across her face, she nodded, okay, let us do this. Let us find your family's safe. Excitement bubbled up among them, filling the room like sunlight breaking through clouds. Elijah took a step back, clearing a path as Zuri wove between them, her laughter ringing like chimes. But as they turned to leave, Maya glanced at the bracelet on Zuri's wrist, a reminder of the legacy they carried. A strange uneasiness lingered in the back of her mind. Just one thing, Maya said, stopping them mid-step. What if we don't find what we're looking for? What if the safe holds nothing but disappointment? Elijah looked at her, a hint of tenderness in his gaze. Then we find something else together. That's what matters, right? For the first time in a long time, Maya felt a flicker of hope fuel a new path ahead. I guess we'll see, she replied, her voice steady yet trembling with excitement. As they stepped into the night, Maya realized that each year apart had blurred their past, but together, they could forge ahead into the unknown. Just then, the weight of the key in Elijah's hand felt heavier, a promise of what awaited them. But would the secrets they unearthed bring them closer, or fracture them again? In the shadowed glow ahead, uncertainty danced just out of reach. The street felt alive beneath their feet as they made their way through the cool night air, the stars shimmering overhead, twinkling like distant promises. Maya held Zuri's hand tightly, feeling the warmth radiate against her side, while Elijah walked beside her, an energy coursing through him that was infectious. Each step was a blend of hesitance and hope, a dance between fear of the unknown and excitement for what could be. Do you have any idea where to start looking? Zuri asked, her voice bright with anticipation. Elijah shook his head, though a glimmer in his eyes suggested he didn't mind. Not entirely. I just figure, if we retrace my mom's steps, it might jog something in your memory like where your grandmother would have kept the safe. Maya felt the weight of Elijah's words. Memories of a dimly lit living room flooded her mind. The scent of sage and sweet tea, the firm yet loving guidance of her grandmother's voice. She nodded, unveiling a mixture of nostalgia and resolution. I remember her having a small desk in the corner of the old house. Maybe it's there? With urgency in their strides and a renewed sense of purpose, they approached the familiar neighborhood where Maya had grown up. Trees loomed like ancient guardians, standing sentinel to the many stories held within the walls of each home. The street seemed familiar yet surreal, shadows playing tricks on her mind as laughter echoed in the distance. As they reached the small, unassuming house, a shiver ran down Maya's spine. Memories intertwined with the present, inviting her into a realm of possibility. It might not even be there. Things could have changed, she murmured, uncertainty creeping back in despite her excitement. Elijah stopped, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. Remember, it's okay to hope. Whatever we find, we're in this together. Zuri leaned in closer, her enthusiasm unwavering. Can you tell me more stories about your family while we search? I like hearing them. Maya smiled at her daughter's innocent inquiry, feeling a flicker of warmth seep into her heart. Sure, sweetheart. Grandma used to tell me how she would sit on the porch and watch the sunsets. She believed they held magic. Like, real magic? Zuri's eyes widened with awe. More like the magic of memories, Maya said thoughtfully, every color reminding her of someone she loved. With newfound resolve, they stepped through the old creaky door, the familiar musty smell wrapping around them like a blanket. Dust motes danced in the beams of light that streamed through the windows. It feels like time stopped here, Maya whispered, her heart racing with the memories. They spread out, each of them searching for that elusive safe. Zuri moved excitedly from one shadowy corner to another, while Maya and Elijah rummaged through an old trunk filled with relics of the past. Photographs, faded letters, and forgotten treasures told stories that echoed of love and loss. Look at this! Zuri exclaimed, holding up an old picture frame that had lost its glass. It showcased a young Maya, laughing beside her grandmother under the old oak tree. Maya felt a sharp pang of nostalgia. I remember that day, she said, voice barely above a whisper. I wish I could meet her, Zuri said softly, clutching the frame. Do you think she'd be proud? More than anything, Maya replied, choking back tears. A deep love began to blossom within her, connecting past and present, family and dreams. Just then, Elijah's voice echoed from the other side of the room. "Maya. I think I found something." Maya's heart leaped as they rushed to his side. There, nestled beneath layers of dust and forgotten memories, an ancient wooden box sat, adorned with intricate carvings. Elijah kneeled down, brushing away the dust. "This could be it. Are you ready?" Maya's breath caught in her throat, anticipation mixing with fear. This box could hold answers, buried stories and family secrets. But with it came uncertainty, and the moment felt suspended in time, charged with emotion. "What if it's everything we dream?" Zuri whispered in awe. And as Elijah reached for the latch, Maya felt the enormity of the moment envelop her. Whatever lay inside, it would change everything. But at that instant, an unexpected sound echoed from beyond the walls, the creaking of the door as it swung open, revealing a shadowed figure. And with it came a rush of memories unbidden, a reality Maya could hardly comprehend. "Who's there?" she called, heart racing. Had their journey uncovered more than just family secrets? What awaited them on the other side? "Maya?" The voice was tentative, yet so familiar that it made her heart leap. Like a spark igniting kindling, her mind raced, and she froze in place. Stepping into the dim light of the room was her mother, eyes wide with shock and disbelief. "What are you doing here?" Mom?" The word slipped from her lips, a mix of joy and confusion. An overwhelming whirlpool of emotions crashed down on Maya. They hadn't spoken in years, not since her mother had grown more distant after her grandmother passed. "Maya, I didn't know you were here," her mother exclaimed, a blend of surprise and worry evident in her tone. But behind her eyes, Maya could see flickers of something deeper: concern, disappointment, and longing for connection. "Maya, what's happening?" Elijah asked, standing slightly behind her, caught off guard by the surprise reunion. Her mother's gaze flickered to him, narrowing slightly. "Elijah? You're back?" The air grew thick with tension. "Mom, we were looking for something," Maya replied, trying to hold on to the fragile moment. She gestured towards the ornate box on the floor, still filled with dust and potential. "Do you know anything about it? Is it Grandma's safe?" Her mother took a hesitant step forward, her shoulders drooping with the weight of so many unspoken words. "I wasn't ready for this. I didn't want you to get hurt again." And in that heartbeat, the air felt electric, a bridge building between the past and the present. For years, Maya had wanted her mother's approval, longed for her understanding and support. Now, here they were, standing on the edge of everything. "Mom, I need you to tell me the truth about our family, about Grandma." "I'm tired of the secrets," Maya said, her voice trembling. "Maya," her mother said softly, looking deeply into her eyes, "I was protecting you. I didn't want you to feel the burden of our history." Zuri, standing with her old photograph clasped close, chimed in innocently, "But Mommy, don't we want to know? Isn't that why we're here?" The child's voice broke through the tension like a sunbeam through clouds. "Yes, my love," Maya replied, a smile bursting out amidst the heaviness. "That's why we're here. Your grandmother, she kept a lot of things hidden. There were stories, family issues that I just wanted to spare you from," her mother said, taking a shaky breath. A tear pooled in her eye, reflecting years of unaddressed pain. "But you deserve to know who you are. We all do." Elijah stepped forward gently, his voice laced with empathy. "We've got time. Whatever's in that box is part of your story, Maya. And we want to hear it." As if the phrase had unlocked something within her mother, she nodded slowly, accepting the reality they faced. "It all started when your grandmother was young. She lost her own mother and was forced to confront her family's legacy alone. That legacy isn't just precious items like jewelry. Maya felt the connections tighten around them like invisible threads weaving them together. It's also learned emotions, inherited struggles, but also immense strength. Zuri tugged at Maya's hand. I wanna see. Let us open it. The energy shifted in the room, and Maya felt the tightly wound fears slowly releasing their grip. There was transformation in the air both for her and her family. You're right, sweetheart. Let's see what Grandma left behind, Maya said, kneeling beside Elijah. Together, they reached for the box, while her mother stood as a sentinel of the past, finally ready to unveil it all. As they pried open the latch, a breathless silence enveloped them once more. The lid creaked open slowly, revealing carefully arranged letters, faded photographs depicting smiles and sorrows, and intricately folded fabric, each piece a testament to the lives lived. Maya's heart raced as her eyes scanned the delicate treasures inside. This is it. This is her story. Her hands trembled as she pulled out a yellowing letter. The familiar elegant script flowed gracefully across the page. To my beloved grandchildren. The sound of laughter floated through the room as Zuri rooted through the box, discovering tiny trinkets that ignited the air with joy. But as they began to read, something profound happened. A sense of belonging settled around them, a feeling of being anchored to generations of resilience and love. Elijah nudged closer. This is incredible, he whispered, their shoulders brushing against one another. Maya glanced at her mother, and oh, how the distance between them shrank. I'm sorry I walked away for so long, her mother said, tears streaming down her cheeks. I just wanted to protect you. Mama, I want us to move forward. It's time to heal together, Maya replied, embracing her mother tightly, the circle of forgiveness enveloping both of them. And as they sat together, Zuri, giggling over the sparkling gems of the past, her mother holding tightly to her daughter in the bond of shared history, and Elijah, radiating warmth as a new presence, they felt something transform. The past threaded through the present, illuminating a new path. They were no longer defined by loss or absence, but by love, connection, and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. The night opened up around them as the truth began to unspool, rich and vibrant. Laughter filled the room like sunshine breaking through a storm. And it was finally clear their family story was merely another adventure waiting to unfold. In the distance, the stars twinkled against the canvas of the night, glistening down upon them like the promise of new beginnings. Don't wait not even one more second to share this transformation with someone who needs to hear it. You need to subscribe now to never miss exclusive stories like this. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep our community thriving. Comment below your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to this ending, because every voice matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who could benefit from the hope and healing this story brings. Your support is everything.